Let us look at combined operations. Example 1. Evaluate this expression. We study the expression that is given in the question. We look at this square brackets. We need to perform the simplification inside this square brackets first. Always do brackets first. And in this case, the square brackets has priority. I copied back this minus 3 bracket cube plus 2 times 5 plus. Then inside this square brackets, I noticed that there is minus, there is plus, there is minus, there is divide, there is all kinds of symbol, but the symbol with priority, the operation with priority is division. This is the operation that I want to do first. Minus 6 divided by minus 3. And this is equals to plus 2. A negative number divided by a negative number will give a positive result. And in this case, it's plus 2. So I copy back minus 8. I copy back minus 8. And I change this whole thing, these two numbers, this operation 6 minus 6 divided by minus 2 becomes plus 2. Now you see it looks much simpler, but I'm not done yet because this bracket here, the square brackets, can be simplified further, and I would like to do that. So we see that minus 8 plus 2 is equals to minus 6. This is a square bracket. And then I look at the rest of this expression. I have to do the multiplication first because multiplication has priority. So I take 2 times 5 first. I copy, and this minus 3 cube, I can evaluate this minus 3 cube. Minus 3 cube is minus 3 times minus 3 times minus 3. And this is equals to minus 27. We know previously that we have learned the cube of a negative number is always negative. And in this case, the answer is minus 27. Minus 3 cube is minus 27. And I copy back the plus sign. 2 times 5 is equals to 10. And I copy back minus 6. Notice now that I can change this square bracket to round bracket. It doesn't matter because I have already simplified this square bracket to a point where I only have one number inside the square bracket. So there I change this into a round bracket. I can further simplify this. If I work from left to right, minus 27 plus 10 is equals to minus 17. And then plus minus 6 becomes minus 6. Minus 17 minus 6 is minus 23. The second example. Minus 6 divided by the absolute value of minus 3 minus minus 2. Again, I want to change this minus and minus to plus, and I want to simplify the expression that is inside the absolute notation first. And this is equals to minus 6, I copy back, divide by this minus 3 plus 2, changing the minus and minus to plus. And the next step, I copy back this whole thing, minus 6 divided by, and minus 3 plus 2 I simplify to minus 1. The absolute value of minus 1 is 1. So minus 6 divided by 1 is equals to minus 6. This example came from the textbook. And if you look at it, it looks complicated. We have a bracket here. I highlighted this bracket, and inside this bracket I have an absolute notation, absolute value of minus 2, and outside this absolute notation I have a minus sign. So this minus sign is actually outside of this notation, but it is inside the round brackets with a cube. and divide by minus 2. Now what am I going to do? If you guess, we're going to simplify this thing here that looks complicated, right? The absolute value of minus 2 is 2. We can drop the minus sign inside the absolute notation, but we cannot drop the minus sign that is outside the absolute notation. And this is very important. So in my next step, I remember to keep the minus sign. This minus sign you see here is the minus sign that is outside that absolute notation. It's outside. And absolute value of minus 2 is 2. So it's minus 2, and then I have to keep this red brackets and the cube. Divide by minus 2. We know that the cube of a negative number is always negative. So we can expect minus 2 cubed to be a negative answer. And it is actually minus 8. Minus 2 cubed is minus 8. Divided by another negative number, minus 2. So we have negative number divided by a negative number. You can expect a positive result. Minus 8 divided by minus 2 is equals to plus 4. So these are some examples of combined operations. The only way for students to improve and do well in this chapter and in this topic is through practice. A lot of practice. Just by looking at examples like this will not help. You need to actually attempt the questions, the exercises in either the textbook or the workbook. Be patient. At first, it may be very difficult and you might make a lot of mistakes, but with practice, you will know that this is easy, it is basic, and I'm sure you will be able to do this.